All right, the way the book is set up is David Goggins talks about his life. He talks about the struggles that he's had. He's talked about the rough upbringing that he had. He talks about the challenges that he's had to overcome. Each chapter is a story, and at the end of each chapter are challenges that you can do and challenges that he encourages you to do to take you to the next level. So it's a really good, motivational, and inspiring story. And I want to read a little bit from it just to kind of give you an idea of his voice. Heraclitus had it right when he wrote about men on the battlefield. Out of every 100 men, he wrote, 10 shouldn't be there, 80 are just targets, 9 are the real fighters, but one. The one is a warrior. And so the whole book is about how you can become a warrior. It's time to go to war with yourself. Hey guys, another thing about this book is it really gets the internal man side of you fired up. I wanted to share with you a knife. I'll put this in the description below too. But this is like a survival knife that I have. And it's one of the coolest knives. It's black on black. It comes with a little fire starting kit. Anyway, that's not working. So maybe that's not supposed to be in this video. So my family just got home from their shopping trip and they commandeered the living room, so I had to move to an alternative location. I'm going to finish this from the comfort of here. By the way, if you like personal development, spiritual development, or anything entrepreneurial, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. Get back to this book. Throughout the book, David talks about the struggles that he went through as a young man, as a person going into the military, as somebody that had to go through Hell Week, and also not being a strong swimmer, some of the things that he had to go through with that. It's really an inspiring story. There's a couple themes that run throughout this book, and one of them is this idea that really resonated with me, is after he did something, as he went throughout his life and he pushed himself further than he thought possible, he started asking this question: what am I capable of? What am I personally capable of? And have I put limits on myself that aren't really there? And so he talks about the governor of the mind, and about how the mind can be our greatest asset or it can be our biggest enemy. And so in a car you have a governor, and if you go too fast it keeps you from going any faster. And so he says that our mind often plays a role of a governor in our life, that we don't want to be there, and we have to learn how to turn that governor off and keep pushing through to get stronger. And throughout the book he accomplishes many tasks. He becomes a Navy SEAL. He learns how to become a really strong swimmer by pushing himself even though he wasn't a strong swimmer. He breaks a world record. He runs ultra marathons. He does all kinds of stuff, and his mind is constantly telling him to stop, but he pushes through it. And so he's got some strategies in there. One of the strategies is what he calls the accountability mirror, and that's basically what it sounds like. You look in the mirror every day and you make sure that the person staring back at you is somebody that you're proud of, and that you are keeping yourself accountable to your own goals. We see things that we don't think are possible for ourselves, and so we hit this glass ceiling, and it's a ceiling that we place on ourselves. It can work for you or it can work against you, and you have to find a way to make your mind submit to your will, not the other way around. He says most people in the world, if they ever push themselves at all, are willing to push themselves only so far. And his whole point is that we need to push ourselves further because we're capable of more than we think we are. So he demonstrates this throughout his life in different things that he accomplishes. He is the first in many military accomplishments. He runs an ultra marathon. He runs these big competitions. At one point he runs a 100-mile marathon in order to qualify for another marathon, but he does it the same week that he decides to do it without any kind of training whatsoever. He loses a whole bunch of weight in a very short period of time to qualify for something else. He's really a force to be reckoned with. But the way he presents the story is kind of like as a challenge, and it's very inspiring the way it's written. Another thing that he talks about quite a bit as a way to make your mind stronger and to become mentally tough is to do something that sucks every day. You know, life throws some curveballs, and you can constantly be beat down and beat down and beat down. Instead of running from being uncomfortable, actually move towards being uncomfortable, because that is where growth comes from. That's where strength comes from. If you ever know somebody that went through something as a young child that they couldn't get away from, that they couldn't run away from, oftentimes it'll break them. But if it doesn't break them, it'll make them super, super hardcore strong, because they went through it and they came out on the other side, and it forced them to mentally become strong. Unfortunately, as adults, when we get uncomfortable, we run from being uncomfortable. And so we become weaker. Every time you run in the opposite direction, you become weaker. So one of the challenges that he has in here throughout the book is to just go towards that feeling of being uncomfortable. Go towards that which is painful so that you can come out on the other side stronger. He talks about the importance of getting back up every time and continuing to push forward. It's like this. How does a sword get strong? How does it get sharp? It gets beat on and then put in the fire. And then it gets taken out and cooled and beat on and put in the fire again. And all that beating and being burned in the fire eventually makes it super strong. That's the concept. But the other thing about the book is it is so motivating that it motivated me to start losing weight. So I've already lost about 18 pounds. And I just kind of started while I was reading the book. And then when I finished the book, I went into high gear. I'm kind of documenting that journey. And so if you want to see my weight loss journey as I push myself through running, swimming, eating right, exercise, all that kind of stuff, and some of the supplements that I'm taking, please click on the next video to see my journey. Also, David Goggins, if you're watching, I would love to have a Skype or some kind of virtual interview with you. Maybe it's possible. Just maybe. So, thank you for watching. Subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video.